blunt, mask off moment. I would be in a lot of trouble if people stopped donating to me, right? If I did not get any memberships and people did not donate at all, I would be in deep shit. That being said, that's kind of like with any job, right? I think I did agree with streamers at first in the beginning, but it was like not very well thought out of me. Because again, this is like my first job. But I think it was actually Sakana that put this into perspective. Where streamers constantly complain about a lack of job security, as if that's not the same thing with literally every other fucking job. I know I'm throwing my own kind under the bus here, or whatever the fuck. But it's like streamers will go on and on. Like, oh, it's so hard and it's so scary because if this happens or if that happens... Yeah, it's the same fucking thing with any person that has a job. That's just how jobs work. Sometimes you lose them. Sometimes it's completely out of your control. That's just how it is. I was talking to Fishman about it. We were talking about full-time streaming. And I was like, well, people can't just like commit to being a full-time streamer because it's too volatile. And in hindsight, I think I'm still right about that part. I think I'm right about committing full-time to streaming being a bad idea in general and it being too volatile. But it doesn't really have to do with job security. That sounds contradictory, but let me explain. Committing full-time to streaming makes sense if you're already making money from streaming, right? If you're already making enough to sustain yourself, going full-time can make sense. But going full-time when you're not making that money and just hoping that you will eventually make that money does not make a lot of sense. But in terms of like job security, well, with any job, you can lose your job. You know, that's just what happens. Sometimes branches shut down or some bitch gets you fired just because she doesn't fucking like you and she's buddy with a manager because she's sucking his dick or whatever the fuck. You know, like there's so many things that can happen. Your fucking house can catch fire and then you lose your job because you can't come to work like smelling nice and shit and they're like, well, fuck you. And now you're out of a house and a job. I'll be specific. You know, like there's so much shit that can happen. But I feel like it's a lot harder for streamers, if anything, right? Because basically the only qualification for, or requirement for losing your job as a streamer is basically either, number one, you just stop fucking doing it, or number two, you're boring. You're not doing the thing that was making you the money. Or you get banned. I think that's like the equivalent of a layoff. But you can switch businesses. You can do the same job, but at a different company. And yeah, the pay will be a little bit lower when you start out. But don't worry, you can work back up. You can move from Twitch to YouTube. It'll be fine. Yeah, being banned can actually help. I definitely agree with that. I think one of the best things that can happen to you as a small content creator... This is gonna sound terrible. But the best thing that can happen to you when you're a small content creator is something bad. Because when something bad happens to you and you're a small content creator, you don't really have a lot to lose, right? If you have 10 viewers, which is still a decent amount for a streamer, right? 10 viewers. A lot of people never make it to that point even. So you should still be proud of yourself if you make it to 10 viewers. But if you have 10 viewers, that's only 10 people that you can lose. So if something bad happens, like you get banned from Twitch for something stupid, like the moderators were like, oh, well, you made fun of Twitch thoughts, and we don't allow that, so you're banned. Or like, you get banned over an emote, right? Now you can go on Twitter, and you can be like, I just got banned for the stupidest fucking thing. And then Twitter's like, oh my god, wow, actually, that is really stupid. Sometimes bad stuff happening to you is actually good stuff, you know?